Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda Davidson-Golien and I am a real estate agent here in Redmond, Oregon. Today we're going to talk about the cost of living here in Redmond, Oregon. Before we really talk about the cost, I want to sort of tell you where we're at. So Redmond, Oregon is centrally located here in Oregon. So if you were to look at a map of Oregon and put your finger right smack in the center, you've pretty much hit Redmond or somewhere here in Central Oregon. Redmond, Oregon is ranked number 19 in terms of population here in Oregon. So there's about 418 cities here in Oregon, and Redmond is the 19th most populated. The population right now sits at 35,582 people. I feel like that's growing every day though. And the reason I feel like that's growing every day is because Redmond only sits around 15 miles outside of Bend, Oregon. A lot of people have heard about Bend. It's very popular. It's ranked one of the top places to live here in the nation. So, because cost of living in Bend is a little bit higher, a lot of people are flocking to Redmond. Redmond's a quieter town on the outskirts, like I said, just about 15 miles away from Bend. And because Redmond sits in the center of the state, it's a really quick distance to a lot of the major cities here in Oregon. So Redmond sits around 126 to 130 miles away from a big area of Eugene or University of Oregon, and that amount from Salem, which is our capital. Redmond is about 173 miles away from Portland. I know if you haven't heard of Bend, you've definitely heard of Portland, Oregon. Unfortunately, that one tops the charts and the news feed quite often. So while we are a smaller town, you do have those big cities close by, but I also do want to recognize that Redmond is only around 311 miles from Seattle, Washington. So it's, depending on traffic, anywhere from a 5.5 to 6.5 hour drive. And it's about 508 miles from San Francisco, so that is easily drivable as well. Redmond also does offer nonstop flights to Seattle and San Francisco, along with many other places. If you are curious, Redmond does have the major airport here, and I have another video that I will link to where you can learn about all of the flights that leave or depart from Redmond. I'm going to start off with the average rent prices here in Redmond. The average one-bedroom apartment here in Redmond is going to run you around $1,253 a month, and an average three-bedroom is going to cost you around $2,229 a month. The average utility bill here in Redmond is around, for a single person or a singular person, it is going to be $106. And the average for a family is around $164. And that's going to include an average of your electricity, water, sewer, garbage. So I had to get off of the phone to talk to somebody. And I thought I hit record again and just finish this whole video without actually recording. So yay me. So let's start from the top. I talk with my hands. You guys can't see them a lot. They're down here. But if you see me wiggling, it's because I am a hand talker. But I think I left off on utilities. No, internet. So the average cost of internet here in Redmond is about $67 a month. There are about 3 different internet providers to choose from. The largest one is CenturyLink, but the local one is Bend Broadband. Redmond, Oregon did just I feel more recently get into the public transportation space. So we do have some buses that run around town, and they do also go to the other local areas as well. If you are looking for daily transportation on the bus, your average cost is around $2.18 a ticket. You can buy monthly passes, and those average around $56.70. Say you're looking for a taxi ride, the average for a 5-mile drive will cost you around $16.70. We do have Uber and Lyft here in Redmond as well. That's not always reliable and can sometimes cost you more. Right now, as of January 2023, the average cost of gasoline is $3.59. That can fluctuate quite significantly, does raise in the summer, but that's typical across the nation. Diesel right now is averaging $4.65. If you're looking to pump some iron and want to go to a gym, the average gym membership here is around $38. There are your typical gyms, but Redmond also does have a lot of specialty gyms as well. CrossFit, yoga, HIIT, we have it all. Let's say you want to head to the movies. Redmond does have a small locally owned cinema here in town. Well, sorry, we have 2 small locally owned, but the original is Redmond Cinemas, and that movie ticket's going to cost you an average of around $11. We do also have an awesome smaller theater in downtown Redmond. It's called the Odom Theater. Amazing food. Brain fart. The theater actually only sits, I'm going to say maybe 20 people for each theater. And you can get the food served right to you there, and their average cost for a ticket is around $10 to $12. Definitely the one I recommend. Daycare here in Redmond is a little bit more expensive. Unfortunately, can be hard to find as well sometimes, but the average cost for a single child for a month is $956. Next, I'm going to hit some of the food staples. I'm going to start with the number 1 here for Central Oregon that a lot of people think, which is beer. I don't drink, but there are quite a few pubs here in Central Oregon and in Redmond, Oregon. The average glass of beer is going to cost you around $5. Now we're going to touch base on my favorite, which is coffee. We have some great coffee shops here in Redmond. The average cup of coffee is going to cost you around $4.32. That is specialty coffee though. You can easily get a $1 coffee pretty much most places. And then I'm gonna end the food section with milk, just because it's a staple, but I also want to talk about, we have our own dairy. It's called Eberhard's. It is some of the best dairy products you will ever have. Milk, ice cream, sour cream, cottage cheese, you name it, Eberhard's has it. It is definitely in my top. I don't like to buy anything else, but a gallon of milk will cost you around $5.49 a gallon. And since I am a real estate agent, I am going to end with the average cost of a single family home here in Redmond. Right now sits around $453,000. If you're wanting to know anything else about average costs here in Redmond, just feel free to reach out. I'm going to have all of my contact information on the next slide. You can call, email, text, you name it. Just try to get a hold of me and I'd be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching my video. I post every Saturday. Have a great day. Check it out. No? Stop recording.